actually have to say sorry, Falsetto. I treated you wrong. Today is the day. We're going to risk it. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. But we have to talk about the F word. Hi guys, especially the ones who've watched my previous videos, maybe all of my videos. There are people who do that, yeah, definitely they exist, yeah, apparently. But they know that when I talk about falsetto, which exists, of course, then it's not that I boil it down like it's a worthless thing, but it's also... I can understand that people interpret it in a negative way, like that I want to say that singing in falsetto is wrong. No, that's not what I say. What I say is falsetto is a disconnected mechanism. That's everything. But I totally understand that. So this video is to clarify a little bit out that's of course not my opinion, and it's also not scientifically correct, but that's where the non-controversial consensus stops, because in my experience, females have a falsetto as well, because I see falsetto as an effect. You know, I'm so tired. I want to go home. So that's, for example, if you play like a comedy in theater, just like comedy, professional or as an amateur or so whatever, you have to play as a man, that sort of drama queen type. You use falsetto much more than you actually know it yourself. So try to just... I will try to skip a little bit, because otherwise I just lose myself. And you know me. So like in the whistle register tutorial. So first of all, why we do this? Falsetto is actually very important. It is actually a very loose, it's such a loose way for your vocal cords that it's actually almost non-harmful, and that is in singing, especially if you're not very well coached, kind of rare. So yeah, and then it's called falsetto. So I'm not going to dive into the history of the etymology and the semantic why it is falsetto, why they are after the castrati disappeared. You can make a whole documentary about that. I'm not going to do that. Otherwise, unless it makes me rich, but those chances are kind of slim. But instead, I just make a video about falsetto to help you guys, because falsetto is a thing, and it's actually also a basic thing. So if you're kind of new to singing and you're like, totally with all the words I use, vocal coaches use in reaction videos, you hear a lot which is not directly explained. So falsetto is actually, I have to admit, too much neglected by me, as in the way how I present it, the way how I talk about it, the way how I kind of make it a yeah, oh, this, and then we go to the real registers. I would say that falsetto is much more important than whistle register. So, yeah, that's harsher than saying flageolet is more important than whistle, but falsetto is. Um, Imagine this: you're sick or you're talking, especially or you're as a teenager, you have your switch and it's not fully mutated. You sometimes grab loads. So what happens is actually that the vocal cords don't find in talking, in speaking, speech, whatever, singing, doing presentation. So for some reason they don't find the right coordination and they flip over. And what they do is they flip over and they go out. They don't touch each other anymore because that could damage the very little and small, though very powerful parts of our body, the vocal cords, the vocal folds. So what do I mean by that? It is a sort of protection shield as well. Singing in falsetto is so chill, vocal technically, is so chill for your voice. It should be. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I have to admit, if you watch all my videos, you could have another perception, and that's why I say the effort. I have to give the credits to one of my students. He knows. Well, he knows I'm talking about. Mr. R. But anyway, so and it was kind of funny because a lot of vocal coaches use that, and then then I don't watch or so. No, that's a joke, of course. No. Falsetto exists. Falsetto is used a lot, both in female as in male voices in pop music and stuff. So that breathy thing, that is actually, you want that. That is not or not full, not connected, just like you're just. So step one, that's a good one. Think of like that you're trying to convince that one friend in the group who's always stubborn and also always want to do something else. So when you want to go to the park for the picnic, he wants to go to the movies or something, and etc. etc. We all know someone. Yeah, I don't, because I don't have friends. But if you have friends, then maybe you do. So anyway, so for so the falsetto thing. Think of like. It's very concrete. I will try to make it as concrete as possible. Think of relief, for example. Try just to be. You can the first example will be like So that's the thing. Second step is a sort of it's hybrid. So hybrid from between part 1 and 2 is that you now try to do. If you example, good context. You're at a party. Study year is over, school years is over, you're graduated maybe, or you make it to the next year, or so great news, it's fantastic, you're feeling well, and you're standing there in a circle of friends, with a cola, of course, or some water in your hands, and then you're gonna do this together to celebrate. And I remember, So that high thing, I heard that do a lot of people who are not into singing, but realize that you're probably singing. This was sort of connected, so it's more. So it's breathier. I can't do that anymore actually, but that is also falsetto. You jump just up one octave above your basic voice. So I dare to say that everyone has a sort of way of singing falsetto, and you just have to be aware of the fact that it exists, that you can use it as an effect. That's very important if you want to use it in your musical style. That's one. And it's also nothing wrong with if you want to do a build up in a song, that you start and if you want to perfectionize it even more, think of cartoony things, dubbing things, so Mickey Mouse, high-pitched characters, and try to mimic them, and try to and at a certain point, if you're also into singing, you can integrate that subtle time after time in your singing, in your artistry, as a choice, not as a I should hit the high notes and I have a flip off. That's also falsetto, who wants to protect your voice for getting damaged, and maybe even damaged permanently. So let's be happy that that their mechanism exists. But it's also well, you can do a lot of it. And actually, I have to say sorry, falsetto. I treated you wrong. I have to say, it was not on purpose, but every time I mentioned falsetto, it was sort of, no, you have to sing connected, you have to sing connected, you have to sing connected. I do agree that for most of the time you have to be able to sing fully connected. Falsetto is an effect, like whistle is a sort of effect, and like yodel is an effect. There are a lot of effects, and like grunting is an effect, or scream. But yeah, you have to know what you're doing. So if you got questions about the F word, you can drop them in the comment section here below. If you got some other questions or suggestions, you may also let me know, of course. Always subscribing should make me euphoric. Yeah, it's maybe a little bit exaggerated, but would make me happy. I deserve that, making a video of 50 minutes with very relevant information that's very important and stuff. But hey, see you guys next time. Falsetto will be there too. Bye. Bye, falsetto. Bye.